My son's wedding nameplate read, "Uneducated stand-in father." But the next day, his in-laws faced a stunning reckoning. Chapter 1. The cruel label. I lingered at the edge of the opulent banquet hall, tugging at the cuffs of my borrowed suit, which never quite fit right. It was my son's wedding, a moment I'd envisioned for 20 years, ever since his mother left me to raise him alone. I'd juggled 2 jobs, repairing leaks by day, hauling packages by night. We'd endured winters without warmth, but I ensured he never went without a meal or missed a school event. Now, here we were, surrounded by glittering chandeliers, clinking flutes of sparkling wine, and a towering cake that likely cost more than my rent. This wasn't my world, but pride swelled in my chest, until I spotted the place card. At the family table, beneath the elegant "Father of the Groom" title, my name was scrawled, followed by a mocking phrase in ornate script. "Uneducated stand-in father." I stared, disbelieving. A prank, surely? But then laughter erupted from the bride's family. Her father, a former college president, let out a derisive chuckle. Her mother stifled a smirk behind her hand. A cousin muttered something to another, their eyes darting toward me as their laughter grew. My face burned. I searched for my son, Ethan. He stood near the dance floor, smiling for photos with his new in-laws, oblivious to the scene. He couldn't have noticed. I flipped the card over and tried to sit, but the snickers persisted. Then I overheard it. "What did you expect from a guy who unclogs drains? Probably never finished grade school." My gut churned. I stood ready to slip away, but as I turned, a steady hand gripped mine. It was Ethan. His gaze was calm but intense. "Dad," he said quietly, "let's leave." "Ethan, it's your wedding," I protested. "I said let's go," he repeated. The music halted. The DJ froze. Guests turned to stare. Ethan faced his bride and her family, his voice clear and unwavering. "You've just made the gravest error of your lives." Without another word, he led me out into the chilly night. And the next day, everything shifted. Chapter 2. The hidden power. The drive home was quiet, save for the hum of city streets. Ethan gripped the wheel, his jaw tight, saying nothing since we left the venue. We reached the small apartment where I'd raised him, the same one I still called home despite his newfound wealth. As I fumbled with my keys, he finally spoke. "Dad, I saw it." I paused. "The nameplate? I saw it before you did," he said. "I was watching from the side, waiting to see what you'd do." Confusion gripped me. "Why didn't you stop them? Why wait?" His eyes held a pain I hadn't seen since his childhood. "Because I needed to know if they'd go that far, if they'd dare insult the man who raised me on the biggest day of my life. And they did." Ethan pulled out his phone and showed me a video, covertly recorded. The bride's father chuckling as he passed the pen to a cousin, her mother sneering about riffraff in their midst, and worst of all, Ethan's bride, Clara, nodding along. "My real family is who I'm marrying into," she'd quipped. "That repairman. Just a placeholder." My heart sank, but Ethan remained composed, almost chillingly so. "Dad, I never told you this, but I didn't sign their prenup." "You didn't?" I asked, stunned. He shook his head. "They pressed me to sign, even dangled investment in my business, but I'd already built something on my own, quietly, with a partner." He paused, then continued. "Last year we sold the company, a clean deal. I earned more than I ever dreamed, enough to crush their family's empire if I chose to." I sank into a chair, speechless. Ethan's eyes gleamed with resolve. They thought they were marrying a pawn, someone they could shape. But I was playing my own game, and now it's over for them. I stared, floored. He opened his laptop, fingers flying across the keys. "Tomorrow, they'll learn who they really mocked. And when I'm through, they'll regret ever ridiculing the man who made me." Chapter 3. The corporate takeover. The next morning, Ethan was already in a crisp charcoal suit when I entered the kitchen. The coffee pot sat untouched. "Dad, today they'll see who you truly are to me. Not some stand-in, but the man who shaped me," he said, handing me a folder. Inside were financial reports and ownership records for the bride's family business, Crestwood Ventures, a chain of upscale hotels and eateries quietly hemorrhaging cash. And Ethan, he'd been discreetly acquiring their silent partner shares for a year, methodically, relentlessly. "You own part of their company?" I asked, incredulous. "Try 48%, he said with a wry smile. "And as of 9 a.m. today, I'll hold the majority." At 9:15 a.m., we entered the sleek headquarters of Crestwood Ventures. Employees froze mid-task, their faces a mix of shock and unease. The same people from the wedding now looked rattled. The boardroom was packed. Clara's father, Reginald Crestwood, sat at the head, still arrogant, still unaware. "What's this about?" he snapped as Ethan took a seat. Ethan calmly slid a thick dossier across the table. As of today, I own 51% of Crestwood Ventures. Here's the proof. Verify it with your attorneys." A suffocating silence fell. Whispers followed. Reginald snatched the papers, his hands trembling as the truth hit. You scheming leech," he spat. Ethan didn't waver. "No, Reginald, I'm the son of the man you ridiculed, the repairman you mocked. The stand-in who worked grueling hours to put me through school, who taught me integrity, grit, and strategy." The room was still. Ethan addressed the board. "I won't dismantle the company, not yet, but effective immediately, Reginald, his daughter, his wife, and their relatives are terminated. Severance packages will arrive by mail." Gasps filled the air. Reginald lunged forward, face red. "This is my legacy." "It was," Ethan said evenly. "Now it's mine for the man you disrespected." He nodded to me, and we walked out, leaving the Crestwoods in stunned silence, their empire in ruins. That evening, Ethan and I sat on the balcony, the sky painted in hues of amber and violet. "You didn't need to do that for me," I said softly. He smiled. "I didn't, Dad. I did it because of you. Everything I've achieved, everything I am, is because you believed in me when no one else did." My eyes welled up. "Happy belated birthday," he added. "Next year we'll celebrate properly." Chapter 4. A final visitor 2 weeks later, Crestwood Ventures collapse dominated headlines. From groom's stunning power play to from tradesman's son to tycoon. Ethan, once scorned, was now fielding invitations to finance summits and industry panels. Clara, the bride, vanished from online life. Her polished posts of lavish lunches and exotic trips went dark. Whispers circulated of lawsuits against her and her parents for financial misconduct within the company. Then one stormy evening, a knock came at Ethan's door. Clara stood there, soaked, mascara streaking, clutching a dripping luxury purse. "Ethan," she said, voice breaking, "I messed up. My family pushed me to think you weren't enough, that your dad was beneath us. I see it now." Ethan's voice was steady. "You see it now because the man you insulted controls the ground you're standing on." She glanced past him at me, seated on the couch. "Mr. Harper, I'm so sorry. I was foolish." I raised a hand. "Enough. You're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry it backfired." She froze. Ethan pulled an envelope from his pocket. "Your parents signed this when they were desperate to sell their remaining shares. It bars your family from ever working for or owning any part of Crestwood's businesses again." He handed it to her. "That includes you." Tears streamed down her face. "Ethan, please, can't we talk?" He met her gaze one last time. "You had your chance to speak. You chose cruelty over loyalty, humiliation over respect. Now I choose closure over second chances." He shut the door gently but firmly. Epilogue, a lasting legacy. A year later, Ethan founded a scholarship fund for children of working-class families, naming it the Harper Fund in my honor. At the launch event, as the mayor shook his hand and asked what drove him, Ethan pointed to me in the front row. "That man," he said, "the one mocked for fixing pipes, taught me that true value lies not in wealth or titles but in honor, perseverance, and heart." The crowd's applause roared. For the first time, I felt like the wealthiest man in the room. Was this retribution fair? Share your thoughts below. If this story moved you, pass it on to someone who needs its fire, and follow Harper's Tales for more gripping stories of betrayal and justice. Because here, every deception meets its consequence, and every slight casts a long shadow. Stay bold, stay true, and stay tuned.